Hey everyone, how's it going? I just want to jump on real quick here for a rare Sunday Facebook Live. I didn't make it my normal time on Fridays because took Friday off from work and I went and visited my grandmother, and I was down in Rhode Island all day long, so I didn't make it to do my Facebook Live, which is okay. I was doing something much more important. But I'll try to squeeze my weekly Facebook Live in here on a Sunday and send this out shortly afterwards to my newsletter. If you hear any sounds in the background, it's probably my children. Right now they're playing puppies, so if you hear something that sounds like a dog barking, that would be them. Or it could be the occasional crying or yelling, or they might even come in here. Who knows? We'll see. But what I wanted to pop on here and talk about today was really about making things too hard. And I, this topic comes up quite often when I'm speaking to clients or speaking to you guys on my Facebook Lives. But I think it bears repeating that um, you know the hard thing is often looked as the quickest way to get to your end goal or to make progress. It's looked as the sexiest thing to do, and but it's oftentimes a bad approach, right? So I had a client this week that was trying some different exercises, and they tried to do some diamond push-ups. And for those of you who aren't familiar with, what a regular push-up is, a diamond push-up is you kind of put your hands in like a diamond on the floor and you're doing push-ups like that. And they're very difficult to do. And when she was doing them, she had some pain in her arm when she was doing them, and she was asking me, what do you think this pain might be? And I said, well, I'm not 100% sure what the pain is, but I don't think you should be doing diamond push-ups to begin with, because you still have a long way to go out of just doing regular push-ups, right? There's no need to jump to in this case, a harder exercise when an easier exercise, you're still getting benefit out of it, and there's no pain. We may look to some type of exercise that we see on the internet, a challenge or something like that. Do hundreds and hundreds of burpees, or do these diamond push-ups, and then jump squats, and then box jumps, and then etc. And we go and try and do these things when we really have no business doing them, because the easier exercise is still very hard for us, and we should probably be doing those, right? So for example, if you can't do a box jump safely, and a step up onto a box is much more is just as challenging for you, is still fatigues you, there's no reason to do box jumps. Just do a step up. They're much safer. They're doing their job. You're getting the stimulus you need, and doing a box jump is probably going to end up hurting yourself. And we see it all the time with diet as well. It's like, well, fasting for overnight for 12 hours isn't hardcore enough. You need to fast for 18 hours, or you need to fast for multiple days and all this stuff. And meanwhile, this person might be used to eating, every 3 hours, and then they eat from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed, and now you're telling them they need to fast for 18 hours, and 12 hours isn't good enough, and they're trying to white knuckle it to 18 hours, and it's terrible for them, and they just crumble under the pressure, right? And they give up, right? In the example of the exercise, you might hurt yourself, and then you can't exercise, right? And then you're worse off than you were before, right? Stress is the same thing, where it's like, you need to keep on pushing that stress lever harder and harder and harder. You're piling more things on, because you got to work hard, you got to do all these things, you got to be just as productive and as the next person, and be looked upon as always being busy and never relaxing, And so we just piled more stuff on, right? When we could easily get away with and sustain a much lower level of stress and enjoy our lives a lot more and not run into burnout periods and stuff like that. So I think this message of less is more, and to always, you know, kind of err on the side of less rather than more is probably a safe bet for most people. If even when we think about athletes, you know, when I'm training and working with athletes, I hardly ever tell them to go at a 10 out of 10 like effort. Like, you know, I never say to, you know, I hardly ever say, or on the rare occasion I say, okay, you know, now it's time to do a 10 out of 10 exercise effort. I want you to really put everything you actually have into this exercise, and I want you to feel completely depleted after it. That's for an athlete, that's safe for race day. That's when it's time to put all the training that you've put in to good use, and that's when it's time to, you know, lay it all out in the line and put everything you got, because that's the one time this year that you're going to peak and do that, and then you're going to have to recover from it, right? Because it takes so long to get back from that type of effort that you can only do it very infrequently, a couple times a year maybe for an athlete, right? If that, right? I was just talking to someone else the other day, and they're like, oh, you know, I only raced 4 times this year. That's a lot. You know, 4 times is a lot, right? For most people, they're, you know, you think about the people that are going to the Olympics, they put in 4 years of effort just to peak for that one event of the Olympics, right? And it takes 4 years to do that. They do it once every 4 years, right? And you know, lots of times, especially in endurance sports, it's like, well, I'm trying to do, you know, put in my best effort for multiple marathons a year, right? And it's just that you just can't sustain that type of effort. Your body can't handle it. So just, you know, err on the side of caution. Less is more. You don't have to go as hard as you possibly can all the time. It doesn't need to be super challenging and super difficult all the time. You know, if you're when I program stuff for clients, you know, exercises for clients, I always tell them, like, I don't really want you to feel that sore. Maybe the first week or two, you might feel a little sore if you're new to exercise, and that's fine, right? You kind of get the, you know, just you're just not used to, you know, moving those muscles, etc., and that's okay. But after that, you know, not every exercise session should leave you sore the next day. That's not my goal. That means you went too hard. So I always tell them, you know, I want you to be at an effort that's challenging, but not like you're completely wiped out the next day. Because you know what? I want you to be able to get back and train the next day and the next day and the next day. Because I think that's more important than just putting in one session that leaves you completely wiped out for the entire week. Like that's not helping you in the long term. So that's really what I want to talk about today. I hope everyone's enjoying their Sunday. I'm gonna go and relax a little bit. I've been running around stores and meal prepping and cutting vegetables and stuff like that. So I'm gonna after this send out my email and maybe sit down and relax for a little bit. Enjoy the rest of my Sunday. I hope you do the same. And as always, if you're interested in getting all the content that I put out on a weekly basis delivered right to your inbox, you don't have to stalk me on social media. Please sign up for my newsletter. You go to rjbhealth.coach, and there's a newsletter tab right at the top. Click that and enter your email address, and you can get signed up for the email newsletter, which we'll send out a couple times a week with all my useful, actionable content for you. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, again, you go to my website, rjbhealth.coach. There's a schedule a discovery call button right on the front page. You fill out the form, and we can get in contact and talk more about that. And if you want to chat more about what I talked about today, please go ahead, leave comments, direct message me, email me, whatever you want to get in touch. I'm always happy to chat. And with that, I'll let everyone go, and I'll talk to you all next week. Have a good rest of your weekend.